I know it's been a while, a long while, but there's a reason for that. I don't have enough words in my vocabulary to accurately describe how I feel about this DLC, and I think that in of itself is an incredible sign. So much happens inside this single hour of campaign, it is quite literally packed with the most insane edge-of-your-seat moments you would expect from this franchise, but dialed straight up to 10. Personally, this expansion is right on par with the extra pack story as the pinnacle of this game's DLC. Fu's desperate descent down the rabbit hole has pushed him onto a path where it feels like there's no saving him anymore, setting the stage for a final confrontation against the runaway researcher in Chapter 4. But until that chapter, we have to go through another wall, and the writers could not have chosen a better primary threat than the most iconic antagonist in the entire franchise, Frieza. His name alone carries immense weight, and the sheer scale of the chaos he unleashes here fits someone of his stature perfectly, serving as the ultimate springboard into that final clash. The entire plot is so over the top with events you think not possible for a semi-final DLC that completely caught me off guard and made me care deeply about the mission because the stakes were raised to heights we haven't seen in a very long time. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Today we are diving straight into Future Saga Chapter 3.
You bastard! Taking advantage of him like that? You're using Broly's kind heart for evil!
Oh my, you're in trouble now.
I've been such a fool.
Yes, we've nowhere to run. Neither do any of you!
Now, Future Saga Chapter 3 launched on October of 2025. This pack comes with Golden Frieza in his legally distinct black form and Super Era Broly as new playable characters. Outside of the usual parallel quests and main story, there is a dedicated side story titled Chilai and Broly All Out Kanton City Patrol. This mode plays out like a visual novel, which isn't really my personal cup of tea, but I know a lot of you love this mode. And I will say, I really appreciated seeing Broly step into more of a mentor role during that storyline. The main campaign kicks off with a flashback. Fu, disguised as a Frieza Force soldier, has discovered a method to place Super Era Broly under his control. Frieza commends the accomplishment, but demands to know why no one seems to recall the existence of Broly's father Paragus. Fu initially used his dark crystals to rewrite everyone's memories, but somehow Frieza was able to adapt to that energy and see right through that temporal alteration. This outcome thrills Fu, who has never considered this as a possibility. He then seizes the opportunity to pitch an unlikely alliance with the Frieza Force. We jump forward a bit in time and see the fruits of them teaming up. They have formed a mutually beneficial partnership, utilizing the Frieza Force to harvest energy for Fu's research while granting Frieza's army massive power boosts in return. Fu has even filled Frieza in on the greater hierarchy of the multiverse, making him fully aware of the Time Patrol and how they've been operating right under our noses. Frieza asks why Fu hasn't simply wiped us out to speed up the energy gathering process, which causes Fu to snap at him and deflects the question. The disagreement pauses briefly as Frieza catches Chilai's spine, though she manages to flee right back to her original mission moments before the Patroller and Trunks land to investigate this time rift, completely unaware of this new team-up. Fu is getting reckless. Usually when timeline anomalies spin out of control, he gets giddy at the idea of studying a new historical branch. But when he notices this rift is behaving strangely, likely because he's overexposed too many dark crystals on the Frieza Force, he simply doesn't care about the new possibilities. He's singularly hyper-focused on raw power, becoming visibly annoyed by our interference and initiating the battle directly by himself, something he's been openly saying that he hates to do. Both Krinoa and Frieza pick up the attitude shift, with Frieza noting that the scientist isn't holding back anymore. It's almost like our presence is enraging him. Frieza sends in powered-up Dodoria and Zarbon, much to Fu's irritation, as he views it as a total waste of gathered energy. It's clear these two don't mesh well, largely because this mission is becoming deeply personal for Fu. After we handle Zarbon and Dodoria and move on to the updated Ginyu Force, Frieza actually expresses a genuine amusement at our resilience. He directly taunts the Supreme Kai at time, telling her she must be immensely proud of her organization's heroic exploits, leaving Krinoa stunned that he even knows who she is or that he's aware she's viewing the battle at all. I will say this DLC does a fantastic job highlighting just how little Frieza actually cares about his army. He treats even most elite soldiers as disposable guinea pigs, using them to test and refine this mysterious dark energy, no matter if it costs their life or not. But on the bright side, he does give them great health benefits. If you're familiar with Frieza, you could see his true intentions from a mile away. He loves taking shortcuts. Perfecting this power on his underlings before absorbing it himself gives him a direct path to skyrocket his own strength, ensuring he can finally achieve his dark ambitions.
Chilai!
You bastard! Taking advantage of him like that? You're using Broly's kind heart for evil! I don't give a damn what kind of horrible things you have in mind. Just leave him alone! Get your claws off him already!
my, what a perfect tableau! Your squirming will bring me so much pleasure.
Sucks for efficiency, though. Why do you keep wasting time on this nonsense? Last time I checked, there was still plenty left to do.
All that power at your disposal, but you are so uptight. Terrifying, truly. Be that as it may, I wonder what version of reality that rift may lead. Really?
Fu teleports us out of danger and we land safely back in Kanton City, which before the release of Chapter 4 had everyone theorizing why he did this. Krinoa and Elder Kai break down to Chilai where she is while offering some encouragement, assuring her and the patroller that we can fix this distorted timeline and rescue Broly along the way. Cutting back to Earth, Goku and Vegeta arrive long after the dust has settled, wondering where Frieza and his men's energy disappeared to, as they are now the only ones there. Remember that for the future. It's a shame we never got an official DBS Broly Ice stage in this game. They used the second coming stage way too much. Now back in the Time Nest, the crew tries to figure out where Fu and Frieza escaped to, especially since Fu managed to seal off the time rift completely. But mid-discussion, Kanton City goes into maximum lockdown. Fu and Frieza have initiated an outright invasion. The entire roster of Time Patrollers are engaged against an army of Crystal Enhanced infantry. Even with those power boosts, the idea that Ace is struggling to handle these grunts at all and can't find his way to the Patroller and the main attraction feels ridiculous to me. My personal headcanon is that he went straight to the Time Nest to help out since Frieza sent a detachment of soldiers to seize control of it. Now understanding the grander scale of the universe, Frieza uses the crystal's power and changes his vision of conquest into something far more terrifying. Controlling a single universe is no longer enough. Ruling over all of time itself makes him completely invincible. He could rewrite reality at will, erasing every past defeat and wiping out any potential threat before it ever exists. Nobody would ever threaten his rule or position of the strongest ever again. Despite this massive surge in ambition, the combined defense of the Patroller and Trunks keep Frieza away from his objective. Desperate to break the stalemate here, Frieza summons a fully powered Super Saiyan Broly and powers himself up into his golden form. But even with that backup, he drastically underestimates our true strengths once again.
Now, Fu, hand over more of those crystals at once.
I've given you plenty. Way more than I ever have in a single moment. If you don't pace yourself, you're gonna end up in a world of hurt.
Are you dense? You've barely given me enough to tickle thus far. Quit your stalling or I'll take them by force.
You're the boss, Frieza. We'll do it your way, and you'll see I was right. I'll use whatever I have at my disposal, just like you said. And hey, if your body explodes, at least we learned a thing.
I applaud your sense of optimism, Fu. You may rejoice. The reign of your new ruler has begun!
Different timelines, yet these two will always have a canon event when facing one another, won't they? Frieza really is a true prodigy. His obsession with shortcuts, paired with his terrifying ability to adapt to this constant stream of dark energy overexposure, triggers an insane ability. Without a moment's notice, he unlocks the capability to transfer the power directly to others, causing Broly to explode into his legendary form. It isn't long before Goku and Vegeta arrive on the scene. The exact same two we just saw moments ago standing on an empty battlefield. Trunks assumes they got swept up with the Frieza Force while jumping timelines, but as we saw, nobody else was there when they landed. Now, stuff like this has never been a deal breaker for me or most fans because it's easy enough to fill in the gaps with some headcanon or just ignore it, but the story would definitely benefit from an extra line or a scene that would eliminate some unnecessary guessing. Goku comes to the realization before even attempting to fight that Super Saiyan Blue won't cut it against Broly, so he and Vegeta take off to fuse, leaving our Patroller and Trunks to stall out the amped Super Saiyan. The battle turns to our favor when Chi-Lai intervenes, her voice calling out to Broly and causing him to hesitate. As the ground beneath Kanton City gives way, Chi-Lai slips into a collapsing fissure, only to be caught right at the nick of time by Gogeta, something I really wish was animated in-game. With Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta joining forces alongside our Patroller and Trunks, the trio successfully beats Broly back to his senses while backing Frieza into a corner. Strangely enough, Fu seems almost pleased by this turn of events. Frieza surprisingly surrenders and withdraws, recognizing the defensive power of Kanton City before retreating with Fu back into a time rift. Now back at the Time Nest, Cronoa updates Goku and Vegeta while Other Kai tracks a new temporal disturbance trying to hunt down where Fu and Frieza went. What they don't realize is that both of them are hiding in the space between rifts to plot their next move. Fu's core scientific curiosity begins to peek through once again, a great showcase of how wild his personality has been fluctuating throughout the campaign due to the constant exposure to the ultra super villain power.
What to do? Huh? Frieza, but why?
Oh yes, this will do nicely. A brand new base to commemorate my new reign. It would be perfect in every possible way, were it not for the vermin who insist on popping up. If no one else can get it done, I'm left no other choice but to exterminate them myself.
You're a weird guy, you know that? If it's your new base, why do you seem so intent on straight up trashing the joint?
The view wasn't quite up to my standards. Besides, creation and destruction walk hand in hand. Struggling is a waste of time. You don't honestly think you can repel me twice? Like I would deign to allow that. I never make the same mistake more than but once. The real fun is about to begin. Hear my words, Shenron! Appear before me and grant my wish!
No way. Kanton City.
I haven't seen you in ages. Sadly, though, you seem to have shirked your duty.
Frieza! Fu!
I get it. So that's your plan, huh? Collect all the Dragon Balls? That's not gonna work. Shenron is strong, but we Kai are stronger. So I've got news for you. Using him to become the Supreme Kai of Time? You're out of luck!
Pardon, I shouldn't laugh. I just couldn't help myself. Shenron was whining about the same thing not long ago. Even so, there's no way you could see this coming.
Kanton City lies in ruins, and watching Shenron get force-fed ultra supervillain crystal energy is something I never expected to see from this campaign. The developers don't always play it safe, but the sequence goes the extra mile, perfectly illustrating how far Frieza is willing to push boundaries to claim his ultimate power. Now after a quick clash with Fu to keep us from saving Shenron, the Eternal Dragon succumbs to the dark corruption. Free from divine constraints, the dragon grants Frieza an unrestricted wish. Frieza truly is the exact mortal who proves Zamasu's entire worldview right. Unlike previous expansion villains who function as mere puppets for Fu, Frieza is framed as an active, calculating antagonist executing his own master plan, reducing Fu to second fiddle in his own operation. Although the transformation grants Frieza immense strength, the magic must retroactively alter his entire personal history to establish him as a god from birth. He hasn't gained full access to that divine output of power just yet, giving us a very tiny window to stop his plans. Everyone back at the Time Nest is scrambling to secure Frieza's timeline scrolls to stop these changes, while our patroller is forced to battle Dark Shenron in a unique gimmick match, shattering crystals to reverse the dragon's corruption. This is a really inventive design choice. I'm sure the game's engine was not originally built for an encounter of this magnitude, so working within those technical limits to deliver something this huge is very impressive. This fight reminded me of the final boss of Ultimate Tenkaichi. If Xenoverse 3 includes these massive boss battles again, I really hope it's back to that insane scale that game had. Throughout this campaign, we watch Fu dive further down a one-way street towards his goal, though at this point we still have no idea what he's actually working towards. It's easy to assume it's just his usual obsession with research, especially because the sheer madness of these events is bringing out his worst traits. He acts like a kid in a comic book shop, completely mesmerized by the insane reality-bending changes Frieza is about to execute and the raw energy it could yield. As I brought up many times before, the power creates a massive tunnel vision for the user. Fu is totally oblivious to the broader consequences, yet he ironically maintains this bizarre optimism that we can somehow stop Frieza anyway. He points out that Frieza's plan might be failing because our strategy of shattering crystals is actually working. Frieza then attacks us directly, wielding the stolen power of the Supreme Kai of Time and demonstrating just how absurdly strong he's become. But mid-fight, he starts to notice a sudden drop in his power, all due to the collective effort of the Time Patrollers jumping into the scrolls, beating past versions of Frieza to fix the timeline. I'm gonna go out on a limb and guess that those past Friezas are gradually receiving power boosts and bursts, so if you deploy elite patrollers in those eras, they can pin Frieza down and help the heroes keep the timeline in place.
Now go!
You're so much drama!
The rift is still open. We can chase him. Get moving! Hold on. I want to join.
Love it! But we probably shouldn't let you come with. Let me explain my reasoning, yeah? Broly's back in his right mind again, not a moment too soon. And Frieza's Dragon Balls plan, I'd say we foiled that one. The part of history you were in before, it's starting to return to its original form. That's why, if I keep dragging you all over the place, it could have some disastrous results. Too risky. It would be a crime, changing things that much.
So just leave it to me. By the time I'm done with them, they'll think twice before they go messing around with history again.
Kunoa truly embodies what it means to be the Supreme Kai of Time, stepping up to demonstrate the true responsibilities of her divine role and following us directly into the final showdown. Together, our trio deals massive damage to Frieza, driving him back into pure desperation. He uses his new time power to revert his own damage back to how he felt before we even touched him. But because he's channeling divine energy before his body can handle it, it starts taking a heavy physical toll on him. Indulging in his sadistic nature, Frieza rewinds time on the patroller now, stripping away our progress and bringing us back down to level 1. He literally undoes every bit of training we've ever accomplished. It's a genius storytelling move. If I ever had my own strength reset by a giant lizard man manipulating time, I'd probably just hop on the dark crystals myself. Despite the physical regression, the patroller's unyielding resolve keeps them pushing through this battle. Fu deceptively encourages Frieza to reset the fight from the beginning and try again, arguing he can keep doing this until he wins. But because Fu was fully aware that Frieza's body wasn't tuned to handle divine power, this was secretly his way of baiting him into self-destruction. Sure enough, when Frieza attempts to rewind time once again, the power refuses to come. His shortcuts have completely run out, leaving him stripped of those finite resources he relied on so heavily. His massive narcissism once again blinded him to the potential of those who looked down on as inferior, this time assuming mortals could never defeat a deity of time, and he is foiled by his own arrogance all over again. Man, I love this character so much.
How did you know? Impossible!
Nowhere left to run, Frieza! Surrender now!
Yes, we've nowhere to run. Neither do any of you! I have an idea, Fu. There's energy left in that blade, correct? Hand it over then! I'll blast away the rift and send them all to hell with it! Ah! Ah!
You taught me something very important, Frieza. This. That the end justifies the means. That was your downfall, but not mine.
You, wait!
With Frieza finally down and Kranoa using Shenron to undo all of the surrounding destructions, we're left with a heavy realization that the Time Patrol has to take down Fu next, as he's fallen so much deeper than anyone had ever anticipated. Looking at Fu in those moments, he felt genuinely desperate. It isn't a spoiler at this point, but if you haven't played the next chapter, skip ahead a minute or two. We know these ultra supervillain experiments were never about simple research anymore. They were about finding a way to save us from the bleak future he witnessed. Fu considers our patroller a true friend and a definitive embodiment of a hero after everything we've been through together, and he simply doesn't care what lines he has to cross to make sure we survive. Like I've said countless times at this point, it's pure tunnel vision. Fu's character reminds me so much of Anakin Skywalker, and specifically one episode of the Clone Wars where Anakin's shown a dark vision of the future and the horrific things he'll do, so he aligns with the sun and becomes willing to commit terrible acts just to prevent the future from coming to pass. Go watch that episode, man, it's so good. Future Saga Chapter 3 was truly amazing and stands out as the strongest entry in the Future Saga lineup for me. The team really stepped out of their comfort zone with the writing here, creating some stakes that build massive momentum heading towards this final battle. Now, the fourth and final chapter of the storyline has actually been out for a little bit. I recorded this gameplay well before it dropped, and I've been sitting on it for a couple months now. As of the moment I'm recording this video, the Eternity Patcher hasn't been updated yet, which means mods are completely off the table, and that includes the revamp mod, which officially confirmed its upcoming release will be its definitive final update. So I want to ask what you guys would rather see. Should I wait for the final revamp update so we can celebrate the conclusion of both the DLC and the modding project together in one massive video, or should we jump straight into chapter 4 using the vanilla gameplay and cover the revamp conclusion down the line? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I have a lot to say about both the revamp project and this game, and it still feels a bit bittersweet that I got to experience the ending right on time. I'm coming to the tail end of content that I have left to cover in this game, which is insane actually, because I've been playing this for a couple months now, and I'll be announcing the next game in the series in the next video. But if you guys have a title that you want to see me experience, please let me know in the comments. I was actually thinking about going to the Naruto games because I've only ever played Storm 4. I've been reading the manga recently, so I've been kind of in a Naruto kick. That'd be cool to play through. But how did you guys feel about this DLC? Did you guys like this DLC? Did you expect them to do something of this grand scale to Kanton City? I want to hear what you guys have to say in the comment section down below. As always, it's been your local overanalyzer Artellings, and I hope you have yourself a damn good one.